Okay, let's start the open session. I'm assuming I don't have to call to order since we already called.
Correct.
Okay, so we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Every time I sit down, the chair.
And now we'll start the invocation. We have Reverend Sean Russo here from St. Paul's Episcopal Church. Welcome.
Good evening. It's good to be here with you. After the invocation, may I share with you a fun cultural event we had, which I thought you might enjoy learning about?
Feel free.
Is this on? Okay. Thank you. All right. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, our thanks and praise for all that you have done for us. We thank you for the splendor of creation, the beauty of the world, the wonder of life, the mystery of love. We thank you for the blessing of family and friends, for the loving care which surrounds us on every side. We thank you for setting us at tasks which demand our best efforts and for leading us to accomplishments which satisfy and make us and those around us happy. We thank you also for the challenges, disappointments, and at times failures that lead us to acknowledge our dependence on one another and on your goodness to us. And above all, we thank you for the example of graciousness and goodness, of patience and caring and compassion that we seek to exemplify in our life each day. Heavenly Father, grant us the gift of your spirit of life and love, that we may make your life and love known to all of those we meet and give thanks to you in all things every day. Amen.
Amen.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I thought I'd mention on our property, we have St. Michael's Academy under our umbrella. The preschool part of the school is there, half of the school, and they're doing really well. They've had a new principal now. It's been, this is their second year at the school, and they have a waiting list, and also at the elementary school on Vint Hill Road. We also have Carried to Full Term. This is their 7th anniversary on our property, and so that's a really great ministry to single moms, pregnant women who they have emergency assistance, they have residential assistance too. Right now there are 4 moms, and they're all pregnant, and they're all in the house, and they're just really appreciating all the program offers to them as far as shaping their life, forming their life, helping them with health care and work and education. And then we also have the Haymarket Food Pantry, and I just came from a board meeting there, and I just thought I'd mention to you that right now the trajectory of the year is that they're serving twice as many people this year as last year. So it's huge, tremendous increases in the need in our area. And lots of things I think socioeconomically are driving that and moving people to have to reach out for assistance that way. And the food pantry also partners with lots of other charities in the area, Boxes of Basics. There's lots of other groups like that where they get cakes for kids, clothing, school supplies, the list is long. But the fun cultural event I thought I'd mention to you is in our cemetery, we have 475 people buried in our cemetery so far. And one of those people we didn't know is a famous international person. And we just discovered that this year. Have you ever heard of Catherine Ann Hubbock? You probably haven't, actually. She is the niece of Jane Austen. So everyone knows Jane Austen, right? Well, Catherine Ann Hubbock was an author, just not as well known as Jane Austen. And while all of her family are all buried in England, she is the only member of her family that's buried in the United States, as far as we know. So we contacted the Jane Austen Society of North America. Yes, JASNA exists. And we asked them if they wanted to do something together, and they were excited because they had no idea that a niece of Jane Austen was here. So 2 weeks ago, June 24th, we had a little event where they brought about 24 members. It's the whole Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. They have 1,000 members. And they brought a couple dozen members. And they came to St. Paul's. We told them some of our history. They told us the whole story of Catherine Ann Hubbock and how she came to be buried in our cemetery. And then we had a lunch together. And what it boils down to is she spent most of her life in England, and she was the youngest child of her father, who was the brother of Jane Austen, and he was a sea captain. And after he died, her husband got sick. He was a barrister, so she had to support the family. And she did that by becoming an author and by becoming a lace maker. And eventually, her daughters married, and her 2 sons moved to the United States. And at first, she went to help her oldest son in California, and then he got married, so she decided to come to Virginia to help her youngest son. And while she was here, about a year after she came here, that winter was a little rougher than what she was used to in England. She caught pneumonia, and she passed away. And they had been going to church at St. Paul's, and so she was buried there in our cemetery. And so if you go to the church and you walk behind the church, there's this very tall headstone, which is an older type of a stone. It's not the newer granite, and it's very kind of almost yellowy white. It kind of shines, and it has her name on it, wife of, that's the way they used to do it then, Catherine. And it has a quote from Psalm 107, which is actually the same quote that's on her father's headstone at the church, Episcopal church she was buried at in England. So it was just a very cool connection, and it was a fun thing to share. We don't know if we'll do it every year, but we'll invite them back again, and they're excited to tell us about what they do, and we told them about what we do, and it was just a lot of fun. So we have a famous person buried here in Haymarket. We're scouring the record to see if we've missed someone else. Maybe there's some other people there that we should know about the same way, that are a little, above the ordinary like the rest of us. So I'll let you know if we find anybody else like that.
Do you know the quote?
The quote, I don't have it perfectly memorized. It's probably about 12 words, but it's about, it's a reference to the sea and coming to a safe harbor.
Nice.
At last,
Yes.
sort of a thing at peace.
Yeah.
So it was a very cool quote. And so there must have been a real tight connection between the baby daughter, the youngest daughter, and dad for that to happen.
Yeah.
So pretty cool.
That's awesome.
All right.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah,
Well, thank you.
it's always nice to
Thank you.
hear some history in town.
That's so cool.
I didn't know that. I wonder
It's
if
another
this-
reason. I was just going to say. That is an avatar history.
Exactly.
Okay, so we'll move on to the community spotlight. I'd like to introduce you to Sia Sampath, Haymarket area's Pride and Joy and Prince William County's regional spelling bee champion. Sija,
You want to just help her?
yeah, Sija is 9 years old and is a 4th grader at Alvey Elementary School. She started showing interest in spelling when she was 5 years old in 1st grade at her school in upstate New York, Chemung Valley Montessori School. She came in joint 3rd in the 2nd competition back then. She has participated on spelling bees ever since. When her family moved to Northern Virginia from New York, she joined Alvey School in the 3rd grade when she won her class spelling bee and the school bee competitions and participated in Prince William County's regional bee in 2022. This year, in 4th grade, she went a step further after winning her class, school, and regional bee competitions and qualifying for the national spelling bee. There, she cleared rounds 1, 2, and 3 and entered the quarterfinals and came up just short of qualifying for the semifinals. She participated hard on thousands of words from the Word of Champions list for the current year and previous years, consolidated word lists, and many other curated word lists. Her mom, Shri, was the main person that worked with her on a daily basis to prep her
whereas her dad, Arun, and her older sister, Anandya, played supportive roles. Hopefully I'm getting the names right. She also used the word spelling vocabulary app on the phone to prepare for the competition. She's looking forward to participating again next year. Other than spelling, Sia is learning Taekwondo, piano, and also a South Indian classical dance form called Kuchipudi. Yeah, so we'd like to have a little bit of fun in introducing her and have our own little spelling bee. I don't know if any of you have the list of words, and then she can test us out on our spelling aptitude. So welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
Anything you would like to add to your bio?
I really enjoy spelling.
That's good. Okay. Anybody want to volunteer on giving her a word? We'll give her like 2 or 3 words, and then we'll let her hit us up with 2 or 3 words.
Sure, I'll ask a word.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you ready? I'm not sure if I do it the official way, but I'm going to ask you to spell accoutrement.
Accoutrement.
Wow. Anybody else?
Anyone else?
I just don't want to get called on to spell a word myself.
Exactly.
These words look hard. How about delicatessen?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Delicatessen.
All right. Anybody else?
I'll give one.
One more.
All right. The word nudical.
Nudicaul.
Yes.
All right.
Good.
Now for your 100% score, you get to punish us. Is there a word you would like to throw our way?
Be gentle.
I sometimes, I'm like, there, and there. Can we just be there?
Galavat.
Ooh, Galavat.
Yeah.
Can we?
Yeah, I was just going to say, can I call in a lifeline?
Is it okay for us to write it down
And then spell it out.
and then spell it
I don't
out?
know if they're allowed to do that at the spelling bee.
Sure.
Sure. Okay. Let me see.
So what was that, Galavet?
Galavat. I'm going to guess. Does anybody else want to try it first?
No.
You and I are the same.
I'm going to say Galivat. Galavat.
Yes.
That was nowhere near. That is very impressive.
Wasn't even
And I said it
close.
twice, right?
And how about one more word?
How about one for the mayor? How about one for the mayor?
You're going to call me the butcher of Haymarket because of the way I butcher words.
Anguilliform.
Anguilliform.
Oof. Well, we know it starts.
Anguilleform.
That's not correct. It was I instead of E.
Ah,
Very impressive.
Good.
Very cool.
Yeah.
well, that's good. Well, I'll stop the embarrassment there. And what we'd like to do is we'd like to present you a little shingle for your accomplishments.
Yes.
And anybody who wants to get a picture, let's meet up in front of the guys here.
Picture for that.
We can get counsel. Mom, Dad.
You want just the mayor first?
Now we'll get everybody behind.
Everybody in. All right.
Great job.
Great job, You're a good sport.
I'm sure they help their practice. Right.
Of course, yeah. Try to help as much as you can.
Yeah.
It's up to them ultimately. At that age, you gotta make them practice. Yeah.
Like literally to my fourth grade.
Okay. Let's get order. We'll move on, try to get this meeting over as quick as possible. Next, we have a award presentation.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to recognize our own Thomas Britt for being the staff MVP at the Longstreet Water Balloon Battle this year. He was the only staff member to participate, and he was so much fun, and I wanted to publicly celebrate that and also put pressure on the rest of the staff to step it up next year. I haven't seen them. And then I would also like to recognize our police department. Every year, they are the most memorable portion of it for our kids, so thank you for always coming out. You guys are the best.
Thank you. That is awesome.
Oh, I say you gotta get
That's right.
Yeah.
And then,
Pictures.
that's right.
And it's not a Frisbee.
I was just going to say they've got to go up.
Yeah. And you got to make note of the diabolical outfit that Officer Chan was
Yep.
wearing.
Yep.
Oh, we have to see pictures. I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen that?
Oh,
boy.
I've got them somewhere. Yeah.
Gas mask.
That was funny.
Okay.
I love that. That was very sweet.
Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Anybody want to open anything within the agenda?
Mayor, if I could open the town admin and police, please.
Any other items?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Is Roberto online or he's not here tonight? The disembodied voice. I'd like to just pull the treasurer's report as well. So that would be B 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. I'm a blank on the motion.
Okay.
Do we move forth?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve consent agenda items A 1 through 3, B 4, 5, C 1 through 5.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Let's start off with the town administration report. Questions, please. Mary.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to see if we could, please, Miss Emily, have a public update on the RFP for the sidewalk and like a timeline.
Excellent.
Hot question for tonight, I believe.
Yes.
So we have Most recently, Thomas and I met with the engineering group right before the holidays at the site. We had a conflict with one of our utility easements, so Dominion Energy poles are right there on the property, and we had to make sure that our construction limits were not going to impact the integrity of the poles. So we met with them on site. They did not have any concerns at this time. So the engineer is going to finalize everything and be submitting those final site plan documents to us, hopefully here by the middle of the month. We're proceeding, though, on our side administratively to work with our engineering consultant to pull together an RFP to post that out. We would like to have that posted out within a month's timeline, and then that would be live for the better part of a month. We can determine if 30 or 45 days is better for a response period. After that, we will then bring everybody up to speed on who applied. We'll review all of the applications and go forward. But again, that is going to be done in conjunction with finalizing that site plan. That is what came recommended to us from the engineer so that we could keep things moving and hopefully go to construction next year. And by next year, I don't mean next fiscal year, I mean next calendar year, when the weather turns nice right after the winter.
Okay, perfect. I was also wondering if you had an update from the county on the stormwater assessment program, because it said they would take the lead. Do you have like a timeline?
I do not at this time. The latest on that is we sent them over the name change document that we had talked about back in May, early June. So they have that. They're submitting it. They have to submit it to the specific review group to approve that name change. After that, once they have more information, they're going to call us in. We'll have a meeting with them and move forward.
Okay, perfect. And then one final comment. I do want to take notice of the new businesses that you have listed here. We have Goodfellas, hopefully opening before school, Lux Nail Bar coming soon, Brewster's, which I saw was asked on social media when they'd open, should be opening on July 18th. Popeyes is now open, and Crossroads Valley Barber Shop is actually open. I had a friend of mine go there, and he actually saw Officer Chan pop in too, so kudos to that. I want to welcome them, and I also do want to highlight that we're still in the process of getting used to and acclimating to this new change. There's going to be traffic issues. I saw some people just turning out of the drive-through entry space and just sitting in the middle of the road waiting to make it in. It's very dangerous. So I wanted to put that into public comment because I think that the traffic concerns are only going to increase as more shops open. So I do want us to be aware and see if maybe we can get a VDOT representative out to assess that situation so we can find some solutions to keep us safe. Okay. But that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else have some questions?
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on the idea of traffic mitigation. Not only from a pedestrian perspective, but also from a traffic flow perspective. And I think that's something that we really need to take a hard look at on 55. The turning movements, maybe some restrictions in and out of certain areas. So I have some real concerns about the pedestrian crosswalks as well related to that and the timing of some of that stuff. But we'll take a look at it, I guess. And I know you wanted to also, Chief, I know you wanted to move the traffic sign, the speed sign.
Speed sign.
Yeah, further to the west.
Correct.
So I'm not sure where we're at on that, but that's something we need to look at as well. So I think we just, as a council, as a staff, whatever, we really need to look at this more comprehensively and see what mitigations we can apply. Now, I know there's a certain gentleman at this dais who developed the report many moons ago and may have a whole bunch of engineering ideas. Maybe we can start with that and see what makes sense. So I would agree 100%. I think we really need to take a look at the traffic enforcement as well as education and awareness and perhaps some minor engineering.
Well, we've been concentrating on the educational side as far as the turn lanes and any traffic issues that show up. The town manager's already gotten approval from VDOT to move the speed sign, and we're in the process of making that happen. The town manager and myself has also reached out to VDOT about concerns that we've already seen prior to the opening of Popeyes. And so we're continuing to monitoring that as well as moving forward and trying to mitigate the traffic conditions that we see arise as they come. So we haven't been resting on our laurels. We've been monitoring as well and moving forward on it, just so you know.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's taxing your resources to a certain extent.
It is, but that's what we're here for.
I know. So that'll be part of an evaluation as we go forward to see if you're going to need some more resources to handle that.
Roger that, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, the speed sign, are we going to keep that solar, or are we going to hardwire that in when we move it?
We're in the process of working on that. We want to do hardwire. If we do move it, if we do move it to where we want to move it, the solar will not be an issue like it is now with the foliage during the summer or on cloudy days. But it would be best just to go ahead and hardwire it if that is possible. So unless the town manager's gotten any updates about that, we're looking at that, but it's not a definite yet.
Yeah, I mean, the easiest way to hardwire, of course, would probably be to mount it on one of the light poles and just piggybacking on, an outlet there. But I don't know if that's what your intentions are, if you're going to keep it self-standing.
I think the intent would be to keep it self-standing, but I do believe we have options to pull power from our light poles and still have a self-standing pole there.
Do we have additional pedestrian crossing signs, those ones that we put? Would that be beneficial to add any more eyesight?
We do keep spares for those because they often will get hit by truck traffic and moved and blown away from time to time. We do have spares, so
Okay.
yes, we do. We can navigate those waters. Okay. And we also have a local asset and vendor in Gainesville that we can acquire more from just a few miles away.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have comments?
Thank you.
Okay, I'll open up mine then. Mine are strictly just to highlight things. The DEQ, CVPA audit and follow-up requirements, does that look like that's going to go through without a hitch, or?
Yes, I'm coordinating with Daniel Moore for follow-up this Wednesday. So far, all that is left is related to septic system and having that coordination with the county line up with ours. I can discuss that further as I research more with Daniel Moore about that. The rest have been simple comprehensive plan or ZTA requirements, one which we've passed a few months ago. And as far as the latest update, I'm bringing an RPA map to the Planning Commission this month to be brought for public hearing. And that should cover most of the requirements for CBPA.
Yep, so there is another public hearing required?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'll move on. That's all I wanted to do was identify the public hearing.
Okay.
The park building, I do see we have received 138 responses to our survey so far.
Yes. I will report back. The early readings are it is about a split 50-50, but I will also say before you leave, please pick up the informational sheet here and pass that out. It has the QR code and the survey right on it as well.
Yep, and that's what I wanted to do, was highlight that to the public. Please respond. You have a question?
I was just going to say, and I've started walking my neighborhood, so please join me in walking your neighborhoods and getting the survey out.
All right. Okay. Town center site plan. I see we are going to be addressing that at the next work session. You do have the materials you need, since we got 3 weeks for you to put something together for us?
Yes, so we briefly discussed in the finance meeting. Roberto and I will be joining up to talk about the site plan for the town center, the funding options that we may have. I'll be presenting the plan. I'll have it up as a visual so that we can actually walk through what it entails, what it means for our property, as well as our tenants. We'll do our best to see if we can get any rough numbers, but it is a quick turnaround, so I might not have those until later on in the summer, but we'll see what we can do.
Okay, and I see the Blight Drive townhouses, the update shows a second submission. I know you said the first submission was pretty thorough, so I just wanted to get an idea of a timeline on when all of a sudden we're going to end up seeing groundbreaking, if it's going to be quickly or if this is going to be something that's delayed.
Certainly, I'm gonna, since Thomas is with us tonight, I will let him speak to that, but I will just add one thing. When we spoke with our engineer, they had not included a sidewalk that would attach to the Blight Drive sidewalk that's already pre-existing, so that is one item that we are requesting from them. But Thomas, if you have other updates?
The main update I have is that right now it's currently under fire marshal review, that specific submission. And so once we get that back, I will then put it on the planning commission agenda for August or September, hopefully August though.
Yep. Does it look like the applicant is anxious to start?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, look forward to some more groundbreaking coming soon. And that's all from me with the administrator report. So we'll move on to the treasurer report.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I wanted to give Roberto an opportunity to speak about his report and some changes or additions he's made to that report, if he can hear me. And then I have a question, follow-up question for him.
Yeah.
If you
Looks
can
like
see
no-
us, there's a lot of shaking heads.
Yeah, and looks like nothing on the dais for questions for the current budget. Now you follow? So with this tool, are you planning on tracking this monthly and giving us a report monthly on this for each meeting, or quarterly, or what?
I think it's nice. It helps us kind of set us up all year long for a budget discussion because we can see the trend. So I really like it. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Oh, any questions? No?
Okay, for your
Just-
follow-up, Joe?
Yeah, so Roberto, that's an interesting segue. You're already thinking about next year's budget, and one of the questions I had was discussing the process this year and what your thinking is going forward for next year. I have a couple questions I wrote down. How did the process work for you on the budget? Any thoughts for adjustments of the process or schedule? And, feedback. What kind of feedback did you get from members and the community as well? And if it was a small feedback, what can we do to maybe generate more interest or get better feedback from folks in town? We don't have to go through that tonight. I was hoping you would be here, but I understand that you can't. So maybe this would be a discussion we could have at the work session, give you some time to think about it a little bit, and then we can take it from there. Thank you, Roberto.
Okay, thank you.
I just had a quick
Yeah.
clarification. So you mentioned talking about the budget as early as November, December. Didn't we start the budget discussion like January this year? Just so I have context for, okay, so you want it even earlier than this year? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll move on. Next is the Chief of Police report. Mary, you had questions?
Yes, well, not so many questions. I wanted some clarification on some things and a call out, as I usually love to do. I was wondering, Chief, if you could elaborate a bit on the DCJS ARPA fund training that you have coming up.
Correct. I applied a few months back for a DCJS ARPA grant in the amount of $12,000, which was the max amount that I could apply for. We did receive confirmation that we would receive that grant, but it is required training to attend on how the monies are to be used and the tracking of said monies. So I signed up for one of the future trainings to make sure that we stood to their standards and was meeting their requirements for accepting the grant.
Perfect. I love that. Thank you for applying for grants.
No worries.
And just doing all the extra things to ensure that we could do that to support our department.
Yes, ma'am.
I love that you are working with the Caring Seniors Program. Can you tell me a bit about that experience?
Yes, ma'am. I didn't want to get too detailed into it because it was just so much to write. But I've decided to try to partner with them. I think it would be a great outlet to partner with them. What I want to do is put on a mass educational event with at least 200 elderly or older individuals to educate them on scams, also to provide them with good services. I want to reach out to make sure that we get good local vendors. Say if somebody needs a ramp, a handicap ramp built, or they need their home a handicap accessible, or just they need an addition, they need something, that they can reach out to a vendor that we vetted to make sure that they're getting a good vendor and not somebody's going to take advantage of them. I want to make sure that they're able to get all the resources they can get, including on the medical side as well. And that entity, they do that as well, provide those services, medical equipment, just a very good community outreach to where these people at a moment's notice can put their fingers on a piece of paper and get the service or the need or the piece of equipment or the person they need to talk to get it readily available without being taken advantage of. And that they should also have the resources to reach out should they think that they're being taken advantage of. What I foresee is maybe a 4-hour event to include a lot of these vendors, free lunch, maybe some medical screenings, an all-encompassing event. But I just knew it was too big for my department to put on by itself and try to orchestrate. So that's why I decided to partner with them. We had talked earlier late last year about this, but just needed to get the ball rolling and actually get some meetings on the plate and get things moving and decide what we wanted the infrastructure to look like, what we wanted to attack, and what we wanted to do for the first event, and then make it an annual event after that, and possibly grow and get bigger and bigger to service the whole Northern Virginia area.
That's wonderful. So you hosted that event on June 22nd?
No, we're in the meeting process.
Oh,
of it.
okay.
So we wanted to decide what avenues we wanted to approach. We've set out our format, and now it's just the fact of reaching out to those vendors, reaching out to those individuals, finding a very good venue that would fit. There's obviously some 55 and older communities, but I feel if we held it at one of those places, it would be just those people that showed up. And we want to make sure it's accessible to anybody that's in earshot of us or anybody that's in our area can come to it and feel welcome, not have to go through a security gate or anything like that. We just want to make it accessible to everybody that wants to come to it. And we did some similar events like this where out in the Valley, not to this scale, and a lot of times people that they'll bring their families or people that already they're caretakers, so it's not just those individuals, there's a lot of people involved with it. So we just want to make sure that we set the mark straight and we don't end up with something that's outside, that we just made it too big and everybody gets lost in translation, but we want to try to get the right place at the right time and the right amount of people with the right vendors there.
I love that. I love that you were thinking of, the elderly demographic, which we do have in this community, and surrounding, as you said, the 55 and older communities. They're popping up everywhere. So yes. I love that. Thank you.
And this group seems very excited about the opportunity. So I mean, they came here. It wasn't like I had to track them down. They've been very good about it since we actually, that's again going that community outreach. We met at a Coffee with a Cop.
Oh, that's
where we met. And it grew from that when I found out what they did. And I was like, that's perfect. That's something I see that we move forward. So just doing that event actually stepped this forward a little bit. So
wonderful. And then last thing that I'll make you talk on or speak on is the neighborhood comfort station that you are working with the county on.
Yes. Well, we had discussed turning this into an emergency shelter, so to speak. But it's kind of downgraded to a comfort station because that's what our ability is here. Okay. And the town manager and I have been working on this for a while. And then with the last proffers, was it proffers? Was it the money that we're looking for proffers? We wanted to be able to have a generator that can still run the building. So we met with the Office of Emergency Management. We've taken that first step. Tomorrow, we actually have a meeting with a generator vendor who's a state contract bid to try to see where we're at in the scheme of things, tell him what we want, what we're expecting out of the generator abilities to be able to have people to come in here and cool off if it's hot or warm up if it's cold or charge their cell phones or have a place that they can get a landline and actually reach out to family and say, hey, we're okay. We had this occurrence or whatever the issue is, but everything's fine, and have that opportunity there. So again, that's the baby steps we're taking. We're on the first shelf of that, but obviously getting the building prepared for it and having that generator ability would be first and foremost to make sure that we can still run the building and run the governance in an emergency situation.
Well, I appreciate you and our town manager taking that on and making sure that that's available to our community. I think that's really important. So
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you guys.
Can I add one note on that real quick, just
Yes,
so
please.
that we don't confuse anyone? Chief explained it perfectly. This stemmed out of a conversation that we had with County Fire and Rescue when we approached them, and we let them know that we had fire funds that came in as well as proffers that were specific for fire and rescue. And so we were brainstorming ideas on how we could utilize those proffer funds. So
Awesome.
that's what it's earmarked for.
I like that creative thinking, so thank you. And then want to just highlight some of your events that are coming up on the 19th. You have a blood drive, and
Yes,
that is
ma'am.
here at the Hilton.
Yes, ma'am. I didn't look up the numbers today.
Okay.
I think last week we still had about 20 spots, which was fine. A lot of people were last-minute programmers. But if there's anybody out there listening, sign up for the blood drive on the 19th from 8 to 2 at the Hilton Garden Inn. Come over and give the gift of life. We'd appreciate it.
How many participants are you hoping to reach?
Right around the 50 to 60 mark. I think we're elevated to 56.
Awesome.
Is where we're at, is what we're looking for as far as units. So that would be great. We've never not maxed out on the scheduling. So I'm not stressed. I mean, if we had 40 openings, I'd be a little stressed. I'd be like, y'all need to come see me next week. I'd be strong-arming people off the street. But no, we're looking for another great turnout, and the venue's wonderful. They treat us good over there with that.
Good.
And the Red Cross really loves it. So it's a very good partnership that we have there.
I love it. And then one final thing is August 1st, National Night Out. Very excited. Do you have anything special that you'd like to share?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, the town manager again, and I was speaking about this morning, trying to finish scheduling out some things that we want. It's going to be as good a turnout as last year, if not better. We've obviously already got Swirlies locked in for the ice cream. I've been in contact with Mission Barbecue. Foster's Grill actually reached out to the town manager while I was gone last week, so that's going to be a new addition. Chick-fil-A obviously will be there. It's a lot of food, a lot of fun. We're going to have some events. There might even be a donut eating contest. I don't know. Not sure. I mean, I'm going to have to throw down on some kids here and see who can do a thing. But it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to have a bouncy house. Park Valley always helps us out with that, which is great. The town manager's already confirmed that. So we're solid. We're looking for a great event. The Bull Run Observer reached out, and they're going to be printing something soon about it as well. So looking forward to a great event. And child ID kits, we'll be doing that again this year. It was very successful last year. We actually ran out of kits. But we got the sheriff's office to help us in the following weeks to make sure that we got everybody a kit.
Perfect.
That got turned down that night, which was only a handful, like 20 or so. But everybody got a child ID, and we're going to make sure that we got plenty this year. So,
Excellent. Thank you, Chief.
yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank
That's all.
you.
I have a comment.
Okay, feel free.
You have one person at the dais that would love to participate in the elderly community discussion. I think it's great. I think all these initiatives are great. That's what it's all about. I mean, we talk a lot about community, and this is all what it's all about. So I really appreciate a lot of these efforts, and keep up the good work. And thanks for bringing all of this up, Mary. This is important for people to hear. I would love to give blood, but I'll find somebody else. I can't, unfortunately.
I know you can't. I know it's all good. But
yeah.
no, just spread the word. That's the
We'll
main
spread
thing.
the word. Okay. Thank you, Chief.
So, no worries. Glad to do it. Glad to do it. Glad to be in a community where we can.
Yes, Chief, regarding the Caring Seniors Program, I believe you indicated that part of the program includes vetting and recommending vendors?
Yeah, to make sure that, like say builders have the approved licensing, also that they're not in any negative litigation to where or have been charged with fraud before, things like that. We want to make sure that we can sit there and say, hey, if you need somebody to build your ramp, these 5 or 6 people have been vetted. You can use them or not use them, but we know that these people are solid. They're an established business. There's no litigation with them, and that's what I mean by the vetting. That it's not somebody that's just going to take advantage of them.
So the Haymarket Police Department would actually be doing the vetting and the recommendation?
Well, we're not using it as a recommendation, just a vetting, to say that they have not
Okay.
been involved in anything negative.
Okay.
And they can come to the event, and if they choose to do so, and give their material out. So no, we're not trying to push anybody any way. We're just letting them know that, hey, these people are solid. And on that note, we would be glad if somebody called and asked us, hey, what do you think? Is there any issues? We don't know of any issues, or we do know of issues. Just to let them know if they've picked somebody else totally different. We're not trying to push anybody anyway, just giving them an avenue to go.
So, just the facts.
Just the facts. That's right. That's right.
I understand now. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
No, ma'am. No problem, ma'am. Appreciate it.
Everyone good?
So, Mr. Mayor, then I'll move that we adopt in the consent agenda the remaining items B, 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. We'll move on to the agenda items. First one on the list is Resolution 2023-12, the budget amendment. I guess, Roberto, you have any description on this before we vote? So no number changes as discussed in the work session, right? Okay, anybody have any questions then?
With that, I'll move that the Haymarket Town Council approve an appropriation to fiscal year 2022-2023 budget as designated by resolution number 2023-012.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and second. We'll put it up for a vote since it's finance. Roll call, please.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Move on to the next agenda item, Architectural Review Board vacancy appointments. Who wants to start off discussions?
I have a question. Do we have the dates that these appointments would be open till?
It's in the motion, July 10th until June 30th.
Both of them are June 30th? It's
I think it's 2027. I think they're four-year terms.
Okay.
So that
Yeah.
applies to
So
both.
those are for both?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Anybody want to make a draft motion, or do you want me to go? Okay. I move that the Haymarket Town Council appoint Joanna V. Mason to the Haymarket Architectural Review Board with a term beginning July 10th, 2023, and ending June 30th, 2027.
Second.
Okay, you got a motion and second. Any discussions before we vote? Okay, since this is an appointment, roll call, please.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, moving on.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the Haymarket Town Council appoint Melvin C. Mason to the Haymarket Architectural Review Board with a term beginning July 10th, 2023, and ending June 30th, 2027.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any discussion before we vote? Roll call, please.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the Planning Commission vacancy appointment.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I guess we can have a discussion after the motion. I move that the Haymarket Town Council appoint Pankaj Singla to the Haymarket Planning Commission with the term beginning July 10th, 2023 and ending June 30th, 2024.
Second.
Okay, got a motion, second. Yeah, let's open this up for discussion.
I would like to ask that town council consider expanding the number of positions on the planning commission so that we may possibly add another one of these applicants that we interviewed today. I think that everyone was exceptional, and I would really love to embrace this opportunity we have for community involvement that we so desperately wanted. I think it would be to the betterment of our town to do so.
I was very pleased that we had the applicants, and we had that number of applicants. I thought everything went really well. Is it possible for staff to look at finances on what that might look like and then bring it back for discussion at work session? And then we can do something on August 7th?
Yes, and I would really love to make sure that all of the applicants that we spoke to that were not selected today know that we are hoping to keep them interested or have them available if council decides to expand the planning commission, and just let them know that that is a possibility, as well as other vacancies may arise.
Other vacancies that may come up before that.
Joe?
Yes, first thing I'd like to say is to thank everybody for the willingness to volunteer to be part of the community of Haymarket. Not just living here, but also participating in the decision-making going forward. So I want to thank all the candidates. I think you all did a great job. And I would concur with Councilmember Ramirez's recommendation, seconded by our Vice Mayor, that we take a look at expanding the size of the PC and also look at the funding related to that. It would behoove us to do that because we had some really, really good candidates that I think could serve the town well. So that's my only comment.
Any other comments? Okay. Yeah, I would like to thank the candidates. You were all well qualified. Of course, we had to make a decision off of the qualifications, and don't want to discourage any of you. Hence our effort on maybe looking into possibly expanding this. So we will keep your applications active, and we will address this at a later date. So as directed, Town Manager, please prepare for a report come work session next what is it, July 31st?
Yes.
Okay, call it up.
Okay, so roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on. We're into council member time. First one on the list, Councilmember Ramirez.
Thank you, Mayor. I apologize if this sounds scripted. I wanted to be clear and direct in my comments tonight. I am choosing to use my council member time to stand for something that I feel strongly about. It has been the greatest honor and privilege to be elected as a representative for our town. I feel deeply that serving with integrity, an open mind, and compassion, that real change can be made. Part of what makes integrity my first priority in this position is that the meaning of integrity to me includes transparency. It should be clear that all council members' actions are aligning with their stated intentions. For what it's worth, transparency is something I felt lacked before some of my colleagues here took their positions in 2020. Having started this new term, I was hopeful new efforts would be made by a council member to ensure transparency in his service. Unfortunately, 2 meetings ago when we voted on the budget, it was made clear that this is not the case. I found a quote that I felt accurately depicted this situation. Words not matching action is manipulation. I detest political games, and I refuse to participate in any manipulation of this position. Councilman Leek, you were absent 3 meetings in a row and sat quietly during discussions about the budget. You even voted in favor for the tax rate that was presented to our public. Not once did you advocate to actually make the change you preached about. All I could think about is what an opportunity you missed out on if it was truly your intention to lower our tax rate or eliminate it. It is cowardly to wait until the very last vote that would not alter the outcome and preach ideals, especially since waiting to advocate until the end of June, we could run the risk of not having an approved budget for the next fiscal year. Our town, our constituents, we deserve better. They deserve to have you sit here and participate with full transparency for them. Make actual change by participating in conversation on the dais before voting day. I am so deeply disheartened by your actions that I can't help but wonder how you sleep at night, knowing full well that you are not being transparent to our public and you are willing to put our town at risk. I know I would be unable to sleep if I made the choice not to advocate for what I believe in, like I'm doing now. Our position warrants your commitment to do better. Our town deserves better. Our constituents deserve to feel they can trust us. I will not sit by and allow any further manipulation to continue. I hope Councilman Leek uses this as an opportunity for growth, to participate fully in the democratic process and stop political grandstanding. We have things to do for our town. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member Ramirez. Next on the list, Councilmember Biene.
All I have to say is here to Councilwoman Ramirez's comments. So I'm in full agreement. Thanks.
Thank you. Next on the list, Councilmember Passanello.
Okay, so we'll change it up a little bit, but thank you for your words. I couldn't agree more. So I want to just say thank you to Sia and Mom and Dad for participating in this meeting this evening, and great job, and looking forward to your exploits next year. So keep up the good work. I just wanted to make a couple quick announcements. First of all, Zip Trips was great. Let me just say that right now. You all did a great job. Everybody, staff, PD, well, PD staff, same thing. But you all did a great job, and I think it was reflected in the coverage and in some of the feedback that I got. So great job on Zip Trips. There's a vote coming up tomorrow at the BOCS, the Board of County Supervisors, Prince William, down in the headquarters. They're meeting at 2 o'clock, and for those who are interested in supporting for or against a moratorium on development after November through January, when it would be considered a lame duck term, you might want to voice your opinion one way or the other. So I just wanted to make sure people were aware of that. I talked about the need for a transportation plan. Obviously, we really got to take a hard look at that. And then an announcement from our delegate, Danica Rome's office. They're looking for space. If anybody has a bedroom available for a campaign worker in the area, they would very much appreciate a call and some help with trying to house someone for the next 4 or 5 months, I think, or so. So I said I would let people know about that, make an announcement, and if you have any questions, you can please call me. And that's it for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Pater.
Bravo. That is what I will say. I wanted to wish and hope that everybody had a good 4th of July. Thank you for the Business Roundtable attendance. I was very excited with the number of businesses we had participate, and wanted to let everybody know that there's still camp opportunities at the Iceplex here in Haymarket. And with new businesses, we've got some amazing job opportunities, summer work for our youth. So please apply. The park building survey, please participate in that. And I will come in and hope that my council persons will also walk their neighborhoods. And then Restaurant Week is July 21st through the 28th. So come out and enjoy. And if you would like a personal tour, I am here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That leaves me. I would like to make note of Councilmember Ramirez's comments. I do try to welcome free discussion on this dais without a threat. I hope to keep a non-threatening environment here so that these discussions can be open and transparent. So hopefully no one feels that I create an environment that's a distraction to them and prevents them from wanting to speak, because I do encourage people to speak. We cannot get a compromise or a better, well-vetted decision without conflicting discussions. So thank you, everybody, for your comments. That's all I have. Last agenda item. Who wants to speak?
Okay, I move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, you've got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
So concludes.